Afternoon YouTube, Scott from SE Landscaping, and I am in the car because I've been down to Harrogate Flower Show, which is the last gardening show of the year pretty much. So been down there today on a nice fine day, and just want to touch on what I've mentioned in the past few videos, which is the plan for 2023. And 2 weeks ago, just before we go into this, yes, we are going into recession, everybody knows that, and 2 weeks ago I gave notice to 30 customers, and some of these customers are quite high value customers. They range from £2,000 a year to 6 or 7, so that gives you a rough idea of the amount of income. So some sort of a few grand and a few more. And the reason I did that was, obviously we've had issues with staff the last few years, and I mentioned that last year was going to be the last year, and I sent out these same messages, and I got people back asking if I'd want more money and things, and I decided to stick with a lot of them, which I shouldn't have done in hindsight, but I thought things were going to get better. They didn't, and it was another bad start to the year with staff, having to let them go. And I just made the decision that this year the letters or emails were going out and the customers were going. So I've had the same responses pretty much, even though we're going into a recession. People seem to want us to stay, but I've just explained that I've been frank with customers and said, look, it's not about the money. You could pay me double. The fact is, it's about the I can't get staff. I can only do so much work. So that's the main reasons, and a lot of them understand, and I've given them plenty notice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to service them till the 1st of April, and then come the 1st of April, they will hopefully have someone in place. If they advertise sort of December, they'll have someone to come in and take over the sites, and the sites won't be left a mess. We'll be working till the end, so we'll be pruning everything, because I know with tenders I've took over sites previous, and you arrive on the sites, and because whoever's leaving or has lost the contract, they don't do nothing for the last 6 months. But we will be leaving the sites, so they'll be fresh for people to take over. And the sites in question are quite a few industrial sites, as well as some councils, some smaller council sites, and some schools. And I'll break down the reasons. Basically, the schools were good when I was building a business, and I was prepared to work sort of 16, 17 hour days, because with the schools you go in on a night or a weekend, and that's the easiest option, because if you're going through the day, then you need to stop when they come out to play, or if they've got outdoor lessons. So it's so much easier just to go in on a night or a weekend, and that adds to your day. So one school, you could be in there till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock on a night. And with the weekends, I've done a lot of videos on a weekend where you go into a school and you're in there for sort of 6 or 7 hours doing 2 schools on a Saturday morning. So in this system, the weekends will have gone because the schools won't be there. The industrial I'm getting rid of are the ones that, before I start my day and usually meet up with the guys, I've usually hit industrial units from 5 AM till 7 AM on a morning in the summer. And that's just rushing in and cutting grass on the ones that I can do myself, where you shoot in with the mower, all they've got's grass. You shoot in with the mower, trim the edges, bang a bit of weed killer down, and that's it. They're just the basic sites, and you could say, well, why are you getting rid of them? And some of them, like I say, some of them are messy sites. The sites where, I'll give you an example. I look after one. They make roofing sheets and things in the next village from us, and the guys sit outside on a bed time, and they just, even when you're on site, even when you're there first thing on the morning, they just chuck rubbish. It's just an absolute mess. And I've explained the site. I've said, can you just get the guys to clean the site up? I said, because I don't get paid to litter pick, but I have to do it. And they've said, well, and they've come across and said, well, we can mention it to them, but obviously these are let's not say the brightest people in the world, but these are just people who sit and punch numbers on a machine all day. So that's the type of people they're trying to educate. But they just sit there and they just chuck their rubbish about. And so things like that. That's the sort of sites that I want rid of. Are the ones where they're parking on the grass because the factories haven't got enough spaces, and you're trying to string around and keep sites tidy, and then you having to go back to the site once the car's gone. So it's things like that on the industrial side that I'm getting rid of. And there's some council sites that are sort of high maintenance. A lot of my council sites are quite good, where we do everything, and it's pretty much, they want quality, they want things done weekly and things like that, and you have regular meetups with them and they explain what they want. The other sites are the ones where they want you to plough through grass on a fortnightly basis, and this year was fine, but usually it's not ideal. You can't do a good finish. So those are the sites that's going. On the plus side, picked up a few more student blocks lately, so the loss in income on one sense, and me putting the prices up on the other jobs last year, and then me putting the prices up with a few jobs this year and bringing these extra student blocks in, means I'm not going to lose a huge amount of money. I'm going to lose a small amount, but if you take into account the hours that we're going to save, we're going to actually be better off, and it's going to free up that small amount of time, because although we're busy all the time, the amount of work that we turn down is unbelievable, and some of it's quite good. Some of it might be just, we want a tree cutting down, we want a hedge cutting and things like that. So it means that we've got that small window there, just if we want to take on a few jobs here and there and tackle them. So it opens that up, so that's quite good. But basically it just makes my life easier, and it gets rid of all the hassle, it gets rid of all the overtime and the other stuff like that. So that's on that side of it. But bringing the students in, it sort of balances the books a bit more. It helps out that way. And the other thing is the spending. In the past, obviously, I usually spend around £100,000 a year, as you know, on new equipment, vans, whatever else, on stuff. I'm going to reduce that. I've got a plan this year where I'm bringing in 3 new mowers, as well as a few other items, but I'm letting a couple go as well, so we'll be getting some money in, because they're such clean, newish machines that are going out, sort of 2-year-old. We'll be bringing in some money, so that'll be covering the rest of that. So there'll be only £60,000 spent this year. That's the plan. We'll be budgeting to spend 60k, and once that's spent, that's it. So if we want anything else, then it won't be there. So that's it for the budget. And a lot of the time I've spent 100k on machines a lot of the time, but I haven't always needed the stuff, as you've known. Like some things, people say, well, it's 2-year-old and you're getting rid of it, and yes, I've got rid of it after 2 years, but as I've explained, I always try to renew. So if you hit a lean year, you can let it ride a bit and you can keep a machine for 3 years. The plan is that I can still have this rolling thing with renewing gear all the time, but it just means that I don't need as much equipment. So the couple of the machines that I have that go onto these faraway jobs, we're not going to need them anymore. So it cuts down on that, and it means that we can reduce the amount of equipment we've got, but renew a lot of equipment we've got. So we'll have we'll have newer equipment this year. I was looking at the vans, and I've decided to hold off on the vans for another year, and reason being is I bought a Renault Traffic Sport, which is a 2019 plate, and it has got 15,000 mile on. Now that's not a lot of mileage for sort of a van coming up to 3-year-old, and I got it cheap. What happened was that there's a company bought it from a broker, and the company paid the VAT deposit, and when COVID hit, they went bust. So the broker phoned me up, who I know, and he said, look, we've got this cheap van for sale. There was VAT on it, but there was a reduced payment because someone had already paid £4,500. So I purchased the van, and that van today, I could actually buy that van. I could actually sell that van today, sorry, for more money than I paid for it. That's how it is. But the downside is I've been looking at new vans, and a new vehicle at the moment, a new van, something a bit bigger than the Traffic, which I was looking at so that I can get more equipment in, is coming in the region of £40,000. So with the mowers I've got and the mileage on the van, I've decided that we renew the mowers this year, and next year the £40,000, the £60,000 budget next year, that will go towards purchasing a new van. So, and then the year after, we've got a 21 plate van that the year after will probably want renewing, the small Mercedes C-Town. So that's where we are with the vehicles and the plan going forward. I'm not saying I'm going to be more stringent with stuff, because I'm still going to buy what I want, but I'm just going to budget better for what I want. So yes, in the past, the odd time I've bought things and I shouldn't have really bought them. I didn't really need them. It was just to spend money to keep the taxman happy. But like I say, I am in the same, pretty much in the same boat going forward. Still profitable business, less work, but not more money, but around the similar amount of money. And if you balance that out with we're going to be running with less staff, less equipment to service, it's going to bring the fuel bill down. It actually means that next year we will have a bigger profit than we have done this year and last year, and that's been quite good. We've had good healthy profits the last couple of years. So that is the plan for 2023. That is where we are heading with the business, and it just means that I will be a bit less stressed, because the one cause, as I've said previous, the one cause over the years and over these last 2 years of stress for me is the staff, because you just can't seem to get good staff, and you can't seem to leave staff to do any jobs. So at least in this system, we'll be working as a small unit most of the time, working together on the sites, and we'll be able to see exactly what's going on everywhere. So that is the plan, that's what's happening, and just a short update, because I've had a lot of people asking that I did mention that I had a plan and when it was coming out, and obviously some people take a bit of information from how I operate as well, and some people trying to build a business try to take a bit from me as well. So I hope the videos are helping everybody. But that's just a bit of a ramble on today while I'm driving, just to pass a bit of time away and just to get a video out there. So thanks for listening, and any questions on anything as usual, drop me a message and I'll be happy to reply, and we'll see you on the next one.